Yeah, just a second.
Morning, Stan! Gosh, it sure took you a while to get up.
Took a while. Dave, we don't have assembly for like 1,000 years. Why are you even here?
Actually, Stan, that's the thing. You don't have assembly today. Here, this was at your door.
Henchman number 065. In light of our administrative changes and our integration of the Henchman program, you are scheduled to receive an in-depth review of your recent performance today. Arrive in room 243B no later than 8:30 a.m. Failure to comply will have dire consequences. Yikes, it seems a little over the top. Wait, if this was just posted here this morning, how did you know to come wake me up?
Oh, I didn't. Mine's not until tomorrow. But I figured there was a slight chance you might have an early review, so I just wanted to make sure you were ready anyway. Better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, for sure. Very, super thorough of you. Thanks for the heads up, man.
Hey, what else are supervisors / best buddies for?
Probably like a whole litany of things, but I'll assume that this is somewhere on the list. Anyway, I'd better get ready. Hold down the fort for me while I'm gone, alright?
Will do! Go get 'em, buddy!
Okay, Stan, you got this. No sass, no backtalk, just get it over with.
Henchman number 065. You're 3 minutes early. How unusually punctual of you.
Unusual? No, I'm Mr. Punctual. That's me. I just love being on time.
Not according to our records. Or your late departure from the scene of Wednesday's operation.
Oh, right. That thing. Thanks for the save, by the way. I wasn't looking forward to another beating from Miss Dynamo. I have a feeling she was gonna break something this time.
Think nothing of it. That child is like a barking dog. Loud, but stupid. Dealing with her was no trouble at all. So if you'd like to thank me, be on time from now on. Will you?
Sure thing. Wait, by from now on, do you mean at other meetings with you? Because I sort of thought this was going to be a one-time thing. I mean, why would you want to meet with me? I'm just...
Have a seat, Stanley.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't fret. This isn't about your punctuality. In fact, you're quite average in that regard. The henchmen here tend to be late in general. But you know that, don't you, Stanley? After all, you've been here for years, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I'm what you might call a seasoned veteran. An experienced, loyal henchmaner. Henchmanee. Henchmanist?
So you are. And how many promotions have you earned in your long and illustrious career?
Technically, about, zero-ish?
Not ish, just 0. You have had 0 promotions.
Well, I mean, I've received some pretty good compliments every now and then. That's kind of the same thing, right?
No. No, it is not. Oh, Stanley, don't be so nervous. You're not in trouble. That's why we're having this meeting in my office.
And where would we be having it if I were in trouble?
Somewhere where I could be more persuasive.
Oh, well, that sounds less fun. I think.
Certainly for you, Stanley. But then again, I have a feeling that you have quite the pain threshold.
What makes you say that?
Deductive reasoning. You've been a henchman in the Bedlam organization for over 5 years with no promotions, no arrests, and minimal injury leave. Barring promotion, the average henchman career is 8 months. Why do you think you've lasted so much longer?
Well, life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And that means you've got to pace yourself.
I have no use for vague metaphors, Stanley. Be specific.
Okay, what I mean is, the thing about being a henchman is, we're not really supposed to beat the superheroes, right?
It happens every now and then.
Yeah, but not often. And when it does, usually we've got some crazy advantage. You can kind of see it coming. A lot of guys don't get that, though. They're always trying to win. Me, I know my role. I know what I'm up against. So maybe sometimes when I'm lying on the ground, seeing stars, and I know that getting back up isn't going to do any good, I just stay down.
Some might call that laziness. Even weakness.
By some, do you mean you?
That depends on your reasoning.
I'd call it knowing my limits. I do what I can, and that's all I can do.
Interesting. That's more astute than you realize.
It is?
Only a fool fights a battle they cannot win. Yet that's what people are told to do. As if grinding yourself to dust trying to do the impossible is some noble and sacred pursuit. Some call it fighting spirit, others might call it grit. Whatever the name, though, it's a fantasy. Turning a defeat into a total loss for honor's sake is the height of folly.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Just less eloquently.
Whether you were going for it or stumbled into it face first doesn't matter. You've grasped the concept.
I guess. Stumbling just doesn't sound as cool.
That's true. Keeping up appearances is important too. But that's an advanced concept. One that I have already mastered, as you can see. Here's the point, Stanley, and do keep this in mind. The Scorpion Group has been observing this organization for months now. We know everything about it, including you. And with that knowledge, you are the first henchman I chose to speak to. Not your supervisor or Bedlam's other acolytes. You.
And you kept me from getting flattened at that data center. Thanks again, by the way.
Yes, I did. As I said, I was protecting my investment, which includes you, Stanley. However small your contribution. You see, Henchman is still in a closed beta, and that goes both ways. Not only are we selective with the organizations that can utilize the program, but the henchmen who can join it. To succeed on Henchman, contractors need a certain mindset, a set of patterns and behaviors that will let them thrive and solidify the program's ecosystem. Based on the data, you may have that mindset, Stanley. But I can't know for sure without reviewing your performance in person. So let's return to that subject, shall we? In fact, let's speak of a specific performance. 2 days ago, you were part of an operation. Your squad was left in the rear guard. Do you recall what happened?
A very painful celebrity meet and greet.
Yes, Shining Nova is quite the famous superhero, and you two met face to face.
Lucky me, right? That makes you the second famous person I met this week.
Oh? I'm famous. That's news to me. Tell me, what makes you think so?
I mean, you were the best assassin in the world for a while. That's a pretty big deal.
And how did you happen upon that information?
The internet?
Not possible. You could scrape and crawl across the web with any framework you could imagine and not find a single mention of me. Yet a henchman found me with basic search. But I suppose it doesn't matter how you know. My presence was bound to bring rumors. But back to the matter at hand. You were the final member of the rear guard to engage Shining Nova during that operation, and you did so alone, after your colleagues had all rushed in at once or fled.
When you put it like that, I sound pretty stupid.
You certainly didn't have the odds in your favor. In fact, we did an exact calculation of your chances of success in that scenario. They were 600,000 to 1.
And now I sound really stupid.
If your goal was to succeed. But you weren't trying to succeed, were you, Stanley? Not in the traditional sense. Why don't we review your moment-to-moment decisions during this encounter? So, Stanley, here you are. You were faced with an A-list superhero all by yourself. What did you do?
Well, I figured that if I didn't move, I was going to get blasted in the face, and everyone attacking at once had just failed pretty horribly. So I just kind of dove for cover.
That's sound reasoning. If unconventional for someone of your lowly rank.
Unconventional how? Seems like common sense.
Statistically, of course. Typical henchman reactions to a threat are to flail wildly in some pale imitation of attack or to flee in terror. Every now and then, you may see a few try to avoid a specific attack, but it's rare for such an attempt to succeed. Based on the data, your actions and their outcome were somewhat remarkable.
So, does this mean I have some kind of enhanced reflexes or something?
Oh, goodness no, Stanley. Just look at you.
Yeah, I guess I see your point.
I should hope so. You land with all the grace of a bag of yams.
I think the expression is a sack of potatoes.
Does it matter? Are potatoes more graceful than yams?
No, I guess they basically have the same amount of grace, as in none whatsoever.
And yet, despite your starch-like reflexes, you managed to avoid Shining Nova's blast. Because, fortunately for you, you think faster than either a yam or a potato. Sadly, quick thinking is sometimes no match for raw power.
Trust me, you're talking to the man who knows, like, intimately.
I should hope so. You ran headfirst into that fact right here. Ah, there's your potato impression again. Goodness, look at you fly.
Yeah, Shining Nova would probably qualify for the Olympics in the henchman toss.
And yet you still weren't unconscious. I'll say this for you, Stanley. You know how to take a punch.
It's a finely honed skill.
I'll bet. And a statistical rarity.
Really?
Really. By simply keeping yourself from passing out, you managed to delay Shining Nova for that much longer. And as it turns out, Lord Bedlam needed every second to complete his mission. That's part of your value, Stanley. Based on your DNA samples, you don't have any predisposition towards superhuman abilities. Yet you seem to be able to endure more punishment than your colleagues.
I guess I do. But hey, just out of curiosity, where exactly did you get those DNA samples?
That's a secret. But let's get back to Wednesday's operation. If you look at the footage right here, you'll notice something interesting about where you landed. What might that be?
I'm pretty close to a door, and the engineers that we took captive aren't far either.
Correct. Though you didn't realize that second bit so quickly at the time. In fact, you don't notice until this moment right here. And then what precisely did you do with this newly acquired knowledge?
I threatened them. Sort of. I didn't exactly have a weapon or anything, so I just pretended my communicator was a bomb.
An excellent idea! But there was one problem with that plan. Your opponent.
Yeah, I guess someone with super sci-fi vision isn't going to confuse a walkie-talkie for a grenade.
No, they aren't. That said, I also don't imagine you would have any idea of knowing that at the time. Given your situation, you made the best possible move. You made use of your environment and the weak-willed, faint-hearted tendencies of most superheroes, With a different opponent, you may have forced a standoff. Yet, even as it stands, you still caused a minor delay. See how Shining Nova abruptly halts? There's hesitation there. Weakness. More importantly, you showed the kind of attitude needed to succeed in the Henchman program, Stanley. You saw the exposed throat of your enemy, and you pressed your blade against it.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly. It's not like I was using a real bomb. The hostages were never in actual danger.
But they didn't know that, did they? For a moment, their fear was real. Your power over them was real. Couldn't you feel it, Stanley? Didn't it taste delicious?
Maybe? I can't really say that I've tasted too many emotions. I mean, maybe pain, but I think that's more like blood getting into my mouth and stuff.
You'll grow accustomed to it, I have no doubt. It's rather addicting, and as you're starting to discover, effective. Now then, I think we've seen enough of this, haven't we? So, Stanley, after reviewing the footage, would you say this is a normal operation for you?
No, definitely more exciting.
And after our review, would you say that you performed better or worse than your peers in this scenario?
Well, better, but
And how were you compensated for this operation compared to normal? How about compared to your peers? I'll answer for you. The same on both counts. But that's how it works, isn't it? You're paid a salary, and that doesn't change when things are harder or your performance is better. No, you can't earn more without a review like this one, and they don't come often. But dear Stanley, what if I told you that you can?
you mean can?
Exactly. I admit, I wasn't entirely sold on the name until we focus tested it with a few slogans. But it really works, doesn't it?
I guess so. Where are you going with this?
I'm getting to that, Stanley. But first, why don't we turn this discussion inward? What drives you, Stanley?
What do you mean?
I mean that as a henchman for Lord Bedlam, who or what do you serve before all else?
That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Lord Bedlam pays the bills, so that means what he says goes.
My, it must be lovely for Lord Bedlam, having such absolute loyalty from his subordinates.
Well, loyalty. The word absolute is a little restrictive, isn't it?
But you just said you serve Lord Bedlam above all else, did you not?
I meant like in a professional sense. So within my job description. I think that's fair.
There. Repeat what you just said.
I think that's fair.
Right. You are doing what you think is fair. You.
Sorry, I don't think I follow.
Very well. I shall explain you to yourself. During your everyday tasks, you trend right inside the average by every available metric. You do not perform better or worse than any of your fellow henchmen. You are perfectly commonplace. But when you are personally at risk during operations, you are suddenly head and shoulders above the pack, despite having no powers or exceptional athletic background. In other words, Stanley, you are performing at the optimal level for your own self-interests. You have found exactly how to do your job and collect your paycheck with as little pain and effort as possible.
No, you've got that all mixed up. Look,
You're the one who has things mixed up. It's a good thing. Why should you try to perform any better when you have no incentive to do so? Should you throw yourself at superheroes based on the distant dream of a promotion? Of course not. No. You have learned that the optimal path forward within this system is to intentionally perform below your potential. So that's what you do. And make no mistake, you have potential, Stanley. All you need to bring it out is a system that rewards you appropriately. And this, Stanley, is what I have been getting at. Henchman is that system. With Henchman, you would be rewarded based on the work you do. If you accept more gigs or more difficult ones, then you earn more. If you perform better on a gig, you earn more. It's simple. Take Wednesday's operation, for example. You would have been paid better than your peers for that, and certainly better than your supervisor. How would that make you feel?
Good, I guess. But, I work for Lord Bedlam.
And? He employs you, but should he own you? Your days could be his, and your nights. Could be mine.
You mean Henchcans, right? Your program?
Why, of course, Stanley. That's what we've been talking about this whole time. You're exactly the kind of candidate we need. You'd be just perfect for it. And as it happens, I know of a gig tonight that would be an excellent trial run. You should sign up.
Sorry, but I need a little more information before I could commit to a program like that. I mean, you make a persuasive argument, but...
No further explanation necessary, Stanley. The only right decision is an informed one. What do you think is on all these screens? Information. Data. Without these things, on what grounds can someone make a decision? Intuition? Instinct? Why, that's no better than a dog. Though I think you'll find the gig itself to be quite enlightening. Think of it as a scouting mission of sorts.
That makes sense. I'll think about it.
Very well. In the meantime, I suggest you download our Henchman app. You'll find more detailed information there. You'll find a QR code on the bulletin boards in the break rooms or at the entrance of the cafeteria. Tonight's gig should be immediately available to you. Take a few hours to collect some more information and think it over, but not too long. You'd hate to disappoint me.
I'm sure I would.
Oh, no, that wasn't a question. You'd really hate it from the bottom of your heart. I'd make certain of it. Then, dear Stanley, you'd see where I have my other meetings.
You mean the ones where people are in trouble?
Precisely. That is all, number 065. You are dismissed.
Right. Got it. Thanks. Shit.
Hey, what's wrong, buddy?
I forgot that Chef Antonio and I are at war. Metaphorically, I mean. Don't worry, it's not actual war.
Oh, good. I was about to say.
I know you were, Dave. Anyway, I think I'm just going to skip the line and get a table.
So, would that be a metaphorical retreat?
I prefer to think of it as guerrilla tactics. If he asks where I am, tell him I'm in medical. You filthy traitor.
That'll learn it. Show that organ who's boss.
Damn right, you've got to keep them in line. Sometimes instead of doing cardio, I just berate my heart for an hour.
What do you mean sometimes? Wouldn't that imply that you do cardio in the first place?
For your information, routinely fleeing colorfully attired walls of muscle is a wonderful fitness routine. It's like Pilates for masochists.
I feel like you don't know what Pilates are.
All I know is that they usually involve a gym and yoga pants, and I can't see myself inside either of those things.
Technically, you're not wrong, and yet you're definitely not right. Still haven't made peace with the chef, huh?
Nope, this is grade A eternal nemesis level conflict. We're destined to battle until the end of time.
Yeah, well, I don't think that treacherous stomach of yours can last that long. Seriously, just have some of my...
Well, gosh, Stan, you didn't tell me you made a new friend! It's a real pleasure to meet you, miss. I'm Dave, squad supervisor.
Good to meet you. I'm Kate.
She's the rookie I guided around yesterday. Just happens that we have the same lunch block, so... Wait, are you still wearing that name tag?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No, it's just that I don't think you have to anymore. That was a one-day thing.
I guess not, but I'm still new, so it's easier for people to learn my name this way.
Yeah, she's just being considerate, Stan. Gosh, you millennials have no manners.
Dude, you're a millennial, and I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. Oh god, I'm older than you.
It's this social media. That's what my papa says. Everyone has to clap back or back clap or post little emojis of clapping.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna clap, do it to my face, you cowards. Am I right?
How dare you encourage this?
Encourage what? A blossoming friendship?
More like an unholy alliance. I think I was safer with Scorpion.
You met Madam Scorpion? When?
This morning, Stan had his big review. I made sure he was up extra early to prepare, though, so I'm sure he aced it. Right, buddy?
Let's not get carried away. I survived.
Well, don't sell yourself short, because that's not always the case. Believe me. So, now that you've seen her face to face, what do you think?
Honestly, she's a bit enigmatic, which is weird to say because she spoke pretty directly with me towards the end there. It's clear that she knows more than she lets on. Not just about me, but everything. Like she's always calculating something. I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, from what I've seen, that's not a bad way to put it. Pretty accurate, I'd say.
I don't think describing something as enigmatic can be too accurate by definition. Can it?
No, the other part. Calculating. What made you say that exactly?
I'm not sure. Have you ever seen that thing in a movie or show where someone is thinking really hard and all these equations start appearing by their head? It feels like that, except she seems like she's doing it without even trying.
She can make math equations appear by her head? That's not what I expected her power to be at all.
Yeah, that's it. Probably how she got away from Miss Dynamo. Just confused her with a bunch of math.
You know, that might actually work.
Right, good thinking, Stan. Maybe I should start carrying around a calculator.
I'm not sure that would have the same effect. But anyway, I was just curious. I got a similar feeling about Madam Scorpion myself. Look, just be careful around her. I'm serious about what I said. Not everyone that walks into a room with Madam Scorpion walks back out. That sort of thing might be part of her former occupation, but old habits die hard. And you'll die easily.
My old habits die hard too. And sometimes I think I'm back on the farm. Today in the warehouse, I called the crates hay bales by accident, and this other time I thought someone's pet parakeet was a chicken.
So that's what happened to Lord Birdlum. Dude, not cool.
It was an accident! Tell him, Kate. Old habits die hard, but...
Parakeets die easily too, apparently.
Wait, what? A parakeet died?
It was expertly butchered by the best chicken butcherer Grandpa Dave ever did see. Isn't that right?
Well, I did do a pretty good job if I do say so myself.
Oh my god. Although, now that I think about it, that's a pretty good example for this situation. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome, Kate. Just a little squad supervisor nugget of wisdom for you. I've got loads of them.
I bet you do. So, basically, Stan, be careful around Madam Scorpion, or you could end up like Lord Birdlum.
Delicious?
Dead, Stan. Very dead. But luckily, the most dangerous thing that you'll encounter tonight are some bad dice rolls, right?
True, though they'll be more dangerous for everyone else since... Wait, does this mean you're playing?
It may, if your party has room for a paladin. You said they needed a tank, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Just a normal paladin, though? Anytime someone plays a paladin around here, they're usually a dark paladin instead. Because, you know.
Oh, right. I mean, of course it's a dark paladin. I just figured that was obvious. Wasn't that obvious?
Neat! You invited Kate to our SNS game too! That's great! It'll be a great chance to do some team building.
You're playing too. Stan didn't tell me that. What class are you gonna be?
I'm a ranger because I'm so good with animals, like I said.
Good's certainly a word for it. You know, when you said you grew up on a farm, I thought you farmed something like corn or potatoes. Not that you were slaughtering chickens.
Oh no, we farmed vegetables too. We were pretty much self-sustainable. Gramps said that we needed to be for when the government collapsed and society descended into chaos.
So Grandpa Dave was a doomsday prepper, huh? I take it you guys had a bunker out there too?
How did you know about the bunker?
How did you know about your bunk beds? You just guessed, right, Stan?
Yeah, just a lucky guess. I always wanted a bunk bed. If I could, I'd install one in my own room. Not to share, just for myself, you know? For the experience. So, not to change topics or to kill anyone's enthusiasm, but I may have gotten ahead of myself about tonight's session.
What's wrong? Is a dark paladin not villainous enough? Do I need to be a demon paladin or something?
No, there's definitely enough villainy. It's just that something else happened in that review. The thing is, Madame Scorpion asked me to sign up for a henchman gig. Tonight.
Wow, that's great, Stan! As your squad supervisor, I'm proud of the recognition you're getting for your hard work, and the recognition your squad and squad leadership will also get for helping you work so hard.
Sure. Thanks, man.
Did she say what the job was?
No. There's a few more details in the app. Here.
Seems like a good payday. Could be risky, though. This is an entry level from the looks of it.
That's the idea, I think. It's meant to be some kind of test.
That's a tough call. On the one hand, this is Madame Scorpion, and she's not used to being refused. On the other hand, if it's meant to be a test, then it will definitely be dangerous. Plus, you'd totally be missing out on our awesome Spells and Swords adventure. So, if I were you, I'd take some time to think about it. I won't blame you either way, but if you had to decide right now, which one would you pick?
Well, I do love my free time, and I can't say I love danger. So right now, I guess I'm leaning towards game night.
There's that bedlam spirit, Stan! I knew you wouldn't abandon the squad.
Thanks, but don't go overboard, alright? It's an imaginary adventure played out with dice and stat sheets, Dave, not a battlefield.
No, I thought these games could get pretty intense.
Well, last campaign we did have a close call with the leader of Soda and some handcrafted dice imported from Latvia. That was a tense moment, let me tell you. It was like our version of the Cuban Missile Crisis, but with less nuclear warheads and more corn syrup.
Sounds harrowing. I don't know, you might be safer on Madame Scorpion's wild mystery adventure.
That's true. I haven't decided anything for sure yet, so maybe I'd better think about this some more.
Okay. I'd be really glad if you could join us for game night. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yes, but with just a dash of extra humility. Maybe a pinch of praise for my wisdom and empathy.
Yeah, well, I'm not a salad bar. You get the toppings that come with the gratitude, no substitutions, and you can forget any notion of begging. But really, it'll be nice to hang out. I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise, I'm still a little worried about Scorpion, though.
I would be too, honestly. So, while I'd definitely be disappointed, if you feel like you have to cancel to save your career or extremities, I get it.
Thanks, Rookie. Whatever I end up deciding, you guys will be the first to know.
And how are you going to let me know exactly? Carrier pigeon? Or do you guys send messenger rats through the walls around here?
Oh, right. We never exchanged numbers, did we? 1 second.
There we go. That'll be easier. Though, I admit, I was sort of looking forward to some kind of trained animal messenger.
Honestly, they might be more reliable. The reception in a secret mountain base isn't great. Big shock, I know.